Now for a movie rant break, One Up presents a movie rant break.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the movie rant break. Happy Halloween, motherfuckers! Okay. As you can tell, if you're watching right now, currently wearing a costume. I did it for you. I did it for all of you. Trying to get in the spirit of Halloween. You know, and I did try to do review a horror movie this year, and I kind of did. There's this movie that I've been wanting to see because I don't know much or didn't know almost anything about it. I've just heard it be slandered as the movie's fucked up. And that movie's wrong, okay? Inappropriate, if you will. And the movie's called Mother with an exclamation point. It was directed by Darren... Fucking these names. Aronofsky. Written by Darren Aronofsky. Produced by Scott Franklin and Ari Hendel. Starring Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem, Ed Harris, and Michelle Pfeiffer. Cinematography, Matthew Libatique. Edited by Andrew Weisblum. It's a Paramount picture. Released back in September 15th, 2017 with a runtime of 121 minutes. Budget $30 million, box office $44.5 million. Rotten Tomatoes, you're at 68%. IMDb with a 6.6. Okay, and I just want to say, this was, in my opinion, Jennifer Lawrence's best role that I've seen her in by far. And it's because it's a film that's really well written. And I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't say who the music was done by, and because I don't remember there being a music score, really. And when I looked it up, it showed the composer who originally signed on for it, Olafur Arnolds, bowed out stating the movie was better with no music at all. Now I got to watch it again because I was like, I don't really remember music being a thing. It was more just like ambient sounds and just like sounds. It wasn't music sounds. So that's the alleged story. The dude bowed out, said the movie was better with no music at all, which I thought was really interesting. So shout out to Olafur Arnolds. And yes, the Matthew Libatique did the cinematography and the framing and shit. And I just thought all that was shot really on point. And I think most of the film had tight shots, which made the storytelling more intimate. And just all the tight shots were used to emphasize, intensity, because this movie was fucking intense. I think it was a little sophisticated. And like I said, the only thing I heard about this really was fucked up. And I was like, what the fuck is that about? And so I went in pretty much completely blind watching this movie. And which was kind of a rare treat because I had a feeling it was going to be kind of good. Usually when people are like, that movie's fucked up, it's probably good. So... Sorry. Shit, my hair. When I used to have a long hair, goddamn. So going in completely blind was a rare treat. And especially when it's got like good storytelling and it's like this film happened to be convoluted and just misleading. So it was unique in the sense I was just constantly trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And was wrong a lot with what the fuck was going on. But, I mean, amazing writing. Shout out to the writer, Darren Aronofsky. Everything just felt like it was done for a reason and with specific intent. And so it made me just lock the fuck in. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because if you've seen this movie, you know it's fucking chaos. And the pacing was incredible too. Like, I'm just like, every scene, you're like, what's happening? What's happening? And you're locked the fuck in. Like, I can't say it enough. It was just so fucking cool to watch. And I had no idea where it was taking me, but I couldn't find out where it ended. And there was just so much mystery to what was happening and uncertainty to what was going on, which I really liked because it's much more of an experience to watch that than like having a predictable piece of nonsense that you're forced to watch. Now, I think what I'm going to do here is just kind of unload what was happening in the movie. So when I go through my shit of what my breakdown was, you're not completely lost if you haven't seen the movie. And I wouldn't be surprised if you have seen it and still don't know what the fuck was going on because it was fucking crazy. So, like, the main characters don't have proper names. They're referred to only by generic titles like mother, him, man, woman, like son, I think. And this was to highlight the allegorical nature and themes in the movie. Now, if you don't know what an allegory is, I think I said allegorical, correct. But an allegory is a story, poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one. So this one was a biblical allegory, okay? And you could argue environmental additionally, but the whole film essentially was a figurative, it was a figuratively, you know? So nothing was what it seemed. Everything was figurative. And it was just, nothing was literal. So when you're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, it's really difficult to figure out what the fuck was going on. But once you take a step back and realize figuratively what's going on, you can differentiate what's happening. So for instance, like Mother, who's played with Jennifer Lawrence, I thought she was Mother, like the Virgin Mary, but and I guess on some level you could say that. But it also is I think it's more specifically Mother Nature is who her character is supposed to represent. And then him is his name. Her husband is God. And then the Michelle Pfeiffer and Ed Harris who are in it, they are Adam and Eve. And then their two sons that show up are Cain and Abel. Okay. And all the other randos in the movie represent humanity. And that is what threw me off the most, is the symbolism of humanity in this movie, because it gets fucking chaos ridden like you wouldn't believe. If you've seen the movie, you know how it's like, what the fuck is happening? And that was what kept throwing me off the trail of the allegorical themes or the biblical themes of the film, is because humanity was just like random shit. Like there was a SWAT team showing up at one point and a war broke out, and there was all these like randomness. There was like parties breaking out like towards the end of the film. It got really gnarly. And then I was like, okay, so this is clearly not Mother Mary. You know what I mean? For Jennifer Lawrence characters. So with knowing which characters symbolizes what, it makes it very much easier to digest what is happening in this film, because otherwise it's like a bunch of fucking nonsense, kinda. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like I did gather, the theme of the God complex, and her being Mother Mary is what I thought, because she wanted to have a baby, and he appeared to not be interested in that. And then there was one point I thought he was like gay or something, like early on in the film. I was like, well, maybe this is like some weird like unfolding of a broken marriage or something. But I was wrong. And just like all these weird things keep unfolding with this family that shows up with like Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer. And you're like, well, what the fuck's going on with them? Then their kids show up, and one of the kids kills the other child, or he's an adult, but the other kid, over some dispute over a will and who gets what, which I didn't make the connection of Cain and Abel. So that was kind of clever. And then like Jennifer Lawrence character, Mother, as they call her, is just witnessing everything. And you're like, what the fuck? Why? And then him, God, is just like the way he manages his time and kind of slights her throughout the movie just has you questioning, like, what the fuck is going on? And then there's a point where I thought she was a ghost, because like people were showing up unbeknownst to her, and she just seemed like an outsider who knew nothing of what was happening, and everyone else seemed to know something she didn't. So like I didn't know if it was a ghost that like she was being like utilized as like a tourist attraction at one point. Cause there was a point where like people were like stealing stuff from the house. And I was like, maybe this house is haunted and it's like a famous ghost and they're praising him for like exploiting this ghost and like making a baby with a ghost. Like I was like really reaching on some shit. And I was like, what is going the fuck on? And then amidst all this chaos, she's drinking this golden acidic juice in the bathroom and passing out. The walls, like she touches the walls and there's a heartbeat. You're like, and it shows this fucking crazy heart. You're like, God damn, what the fuck is going on? And I wasn't even like on some like crazy drugs, just, you know, just some regular shit, you know? And I was confused. So yeah, I mean, like the progression of mayhem was gnarly and very well written. And like I said, it just starts with this fan of her husband's overstaying his welcome, and then reporters show up praising her husband for the work he's done because he's a writer. And literally a battle occurs within the house. Like literally, like SWAT shows up, like I said. And like, damn, like it just was crazy. It was a crazy fucking movie. And then what ends up happening at the end, which is what people really had a problem with, was she has the baby, right? Hold on. She has the baby. Then God takes the baby, gives the baby to the people, which is Jesus, I'm assuming. And then, but it's appearing like this fucking satanic cult. And they like break the baby's neck. And then they like kill the baby, like sacrifice, and they like eat it. It's really fucking crazy. And you're like, whoa, that's intense. And that's, I think, where people were lost on the idea of what was happening, which I think in general, people do not know what the fuck they saw with this movie. And that's okay. But like people that are getting mad at what they saw on screen, I think their hate is misplaced because it was just a new representation of how to tell a story of the dynamic of humanity to God, to Mother Nature. And I thought it was really well facilitated. And it was an incredible movie, honestly. It's just a little dark at times. But yeah, just all the symbolism and shit was fucking on point. And yeah, the scene at the end got a little crazy. Like eating babies is a lot. And then she gets beat the fuck up. And it's like, whoa. So yeah, I definitely, despite all that, I think people should go watch this. And if you have seen it, you're with me. I hope I could spit some knowledge on what the fuck was going on. Because I had to check on a couple things because I was being misled with kind of the symbolism of humanity, made kind of the perception of the film hard to process. And I think it was sophisticated of a film, and like it would have been nice if it was slightly more transparent when wrapping up the movie, so it was a little more clear to the viewer on what was going on and what you just fucking watched. But I appreciated the chaos and the thought-provoking questions it prompted. But I could see the opposite side of the spectrum, people being a little, you know, sick to their stomach because they're not. I mean, it was a lot to watch. Yeah, very solid movie, top to bottom. Roller coaster of a ride of a movie. That's fee show. And I didn't even give the brief breakdown of this film, but yeah, this woman, she was in this house. Shit started popping off with her what's apparently her husband that's a writer. But yeah, sorry, I didn't give the brief breakdown. I just went straight into this shit. Well, I'm glad that I didn't, because it goes to show you, like, that's how the movie was unconventional and unorthodox, and we'll do this episode like that too. So I hope this was like insightful. I wasn't planning on doing this review, but it kind of just happened, and I wanted to talk about it, even though it's kind of, you know, convoluted and crazy and controversial, I think people would call it. But I definitely think you should go watch it. I'm going to give it a 8.2 out of 10. And let me know what you guys think of it. And let me know if there's any other films that are like this, because I enjoy films that are crazy like this. It's like, whoa, radical, bro. But yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. I love all y'all. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I will check you next episode.